important topic, that is Bohr's model of hydrogen atom. Now before starting the Bohr's model of hydrogen atom, I hope all of you know that the hydrogen atom model, it's already given by other scientists like Balmer. What he did exactly, he took some hydrogen gas and he passed a heavy current through it. That process, it is nothing but called as electric discharge process. What is electric discharge? When heavy current passes through the gas, that process is called as electric discharge. So what is the consequence of this electric discharge? When he pass this current through this hydrogen gas, then there will be dissociation of this gas. So obviously they will be excited, and due to that excitation they started emitting energy in the form of radiation. Radiation is nothing but it's a range of frequency. You can find it in different colors if it is coming in the visible region. If it is in the invisible region, then with the help of spectrometer you can measure it, but you can't see it. Like example is your X-ray. It is also a range of frequency, but are you able to see the X-ray? No. But there is a certain frequency which is able to cross through our body, and we are able to get any fracture of the element or your dislocation, anything. So these are all coming under electromagnetic spectrum. So what is spectrum means? It's a range of frequency. Now there are two types of spectrum. One is continuous spectrum and other is called as discontinuous or discrete or line spectrum. So what is the difference between these two? I'll give you one example so that easily you can understand. For example, rainbow. Have you observed rainbow in the sky? You find that one color, a red color, next to that somehow orange color or pink color, it is merged in between them. Starting is red visible, then end part here next color second is visible, in between them you find red and pink is somehow merged together. It seems to be some other color, a reddish pinkish. Yes or no? Similarly end also you see that will be blue, and the violet or green, it will be somehow mixed near to it. Yes or no? So that is called as continuous spectrum, in which all the frequencies are lying together. So spectrum can be represented in terms of frequency. It can even represented in terms of wavelength. Both way we can present it. But coming to your discrete spectrum or line spectrum, I given the example, it's like your steps in a staircase. Where is your first step, second step, third step? In between first and second step there is no space for you, or it is not defined, which is not for you to walk. You can keep your leg either in first step or second or third, but in between 1 and 2 you can't. Yes or no? Because it is defined. So same way your line spectra or discrete emission spectra, it is called as. And practically or experimentally it is found that with the help of spectrometer, all the atoms have the discrete line spectra, or that is nothing but called as line spectra. Now are you clear about the difference between the continuous spectrum and this line spectrum? Spectrum means usually it's a frequency, normal frequency, and spectrum means a range of frequency, where you are not limited with a single frequency. A range from, you can imagine 10 to the power 15 Hz to some 10 to the power 16 Hz. It's a range of frequency within this range. So hence it is called as spectrum. If it is continuous without any break, then it is called as continuous spectrum. If you find certain breaks are there, then that is called as discrete, discontinuous or line spectrum. And here for your textbook in 11th level they are using the term line spectra, that is found in case of atoms. Now clear? So when he did this experiment, Mr. Balmer, what he found, what Mr. Balmer found is, once he passed this gas through this hydrogen and he passed it through a prism. What he found that, it will, prisms will go through the refraction. So he has taken a end point, one screen, to observe what will be the spectrum. What he found, it is showing the lines like this. It is nothing but your line spectra. And what he found, it is nothing but coming in the range of visible region. Do you know your visible region frequency? It is in the range of 10 to the power 15 Hz. Because it is starting from your blue to red. Blue is 7.5 into 10 to the power 14 to 4 into 10 to the power 14. I can write it as 0.75 into 10 to the power 15 to 0.4 into 10 to the power 15. Now it is in the range of 10 to the power 15 or not? So visible region frequency range is from blue to red. Blue is having the highest frequency and red is having the lowest frequency. That's what red having the highest wavelength because they are inversely proportional. Similarly, blue is having the lowest wavelength. Due to the highest wavelength only, your red color is used as the danger signal for all purpose because from a large distance it will be visible. Why? Because it of a high wavelength. Clear? Now coming to the Balmer's experiment. What he did, he found this, and to present this in the mathematical model, he represented his mathematical model like this in terms of wave number. Now what is wave number? I think all of you know wavelength. Wavelength is nothing but if you consider a wave, then the distance between the consecutive crest or consecutive trough. What is the distance? That is nothing but called as wavelength. Now the wave number, it is just inverse of wavelength. So what is the inverse of wavelength means? It is nothing but how many waves crossing per unit length. That is nothing but called as wave number. You can make a note of it. The wave number is the number of waves crossing for unit length. So what's the value he found for it is nothing but 109.677 divided by 1 by 2 square minus 1 by n square. This is the mathematical model he framed for this in terms of, now it is wave number, that is inverse of wavelength. So what will be the unit? Your wavelength unit is meter or centimeter. Here he has taken in terms of centimeter. So centimeter inverse. Clear? Now what he has found is it is in the terms of visible region spectrum. Next, one other scientist, that is called as Mr. Rydberg. What is his name? Rydberg. What he did, he told, why you are finding only for one series, that is the visible region, we can find for all the series possible. That he told that it is possible to get 5 series, and different scientists worked, and according to them these names are given. So what are the series he got it? Your Balmer series he also expressed in terms of wave number, that is nothing but 109.677 divided by 1 by n1 square by 1 by n2 square. Where he mentioned that the value of n1 can be 5. n1 can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what is the value of n2? If it is belonging to 1, then your n2 will be greater than equal to 2. Similarly, if you are considering n1 as 2, your value of n2 will be greater than equal to 3. Similarly, here it will be greater than equal to 4. Clear? So, by substituting these values, you are going to get this. When you are getting for n equal to 1, that is nothing but simple way when electrons are jumping from higher orbits, second, third, fourth, fifth to the first orbit. So what's the radiation they emitted, that frequency range, it will come in this region. That is nothing but called as simple your Lyman series. Do you know this Lyman series coming in which frequency range? It is coming in the range of ultraviolet range. And the frequency range of ultraviolet is 10 to the power 16 Hz. Then coming to your second, it is already given by Mr. Balmer series. And what is its frequency? Is in the range of 10 to the power frequency Hertz, 10 to the power 15. It is in the visible region, VR. It is in the region of visible. Now coming to 3, 4, 5. All these 3. Your name will be different. It is Paschen for 3. 4 is for bracket series. 5 is for P-Pond series. Fine. But all these 3 comes under your infrared region. What is the frequency of this? 10 to the power 13 Hz. Take the snapshot of it. See these last 3, your Paschen, bracket and P-Pond. These are all coming under the categories of infrared, which is nothing but 10 to the power 13 Hertz. And what about this Lyman series? It is coming under the ultraviolet rays, that is nothing but 10 to the power 16 Hertz. And Balmer, I have shown already, it is in the visible region, that is from 7.5 in 10 to the power 14 to 4 into 10 to the power 14 Hertz. Whereas these three are coming under the range of infrared. All this together creates your electromagnetic spectrum. Okay. Now, these are the things they have given. And one important aspect here is, question is not arising in your mind, why they are considering only about hydrogen, whereas there are around 118 elements present in the periodic table. Why they are only focusing on the hydrogen? It's because the line spectra of the hydrogen is very simple. Whereas for other elements with increasing atomic number, the line spectra is highly complicated, which is not required for you to study in this +2 level or +1 level. So only they have eliminated that portions for you. Clear? But the beauty of this line spectrum, you know, it's like your fingerprint. Every individual human being's fingerprint is different or not, unique or not. Same way, if you see the line spectrum of each element, it will be unique. And second thing, even though it is unique for each and every person, like each element here, same way there will be regularity in between this line spectrum. Don't think that there will be this many elements, so there will be some irregularity in between the line spectrum. No, there will be specific regularity, or they follow certain order in their line spectrum. That is the beauty of the line spectra of the atoms. Okay. Now, question will come to your mind. What's the contribution given by the Bohr? Now, actually these are all I told empirical model. What do you mean by empirical model? Just practical, they conducted experiment. What's the output they got? They frame it into a mathematical model. Both this Balmer, Mr. Balmer and Mr. Rydberg. They just, Balmer made for visual region, Rydberg extended that to for all 5 series, which even belongs to non-visible region like your ultraviolet ray and in the infrared region. Then Bohr, what he told, he experimented only on hydrogen and he given very beautiful concept about it. You can make a note of it or snapshot, you can take it. Now see, what Bohr made the beautiful thing is that I told about the postulates of Bohr's in my second lecture. In that what I mentioned that the electrons always revolve in a fixed particular orbit. So what do you mean by that fixed particular orbit? In that particular orbit, it is nothing but called as allowed energy states or stationary states. Until and unless they are not moving from that orbit to other orbit. However, when they start to move from one orbit to other orbit, there will be change in energy, and that change in energy, it is not in continuous manner, it is also in discrete manner. Yes or no? He told that statement very clearly. When one electron jumps from lower level or lower orbit to higher orbit, then it will gain the energy and absorb the energy and it will jump to higher. When one electron is jumping from higher to lower, then it is going to lose the energy. At that time, it will release the energy or emit the energy. This is the important concept he told. Now, how the way he explained about it is nothing but, you see, he told, imagine this is your nucleus. This is the first orbit, your n equal to 1. This is the second orbit, let it be n equal to 2. This is your third orbit, that is n equal to 3. This is the fourth orbit, n equal to 4. And we have 5 series, so I am drawing 5. So n equal to 5. Okay. Now, when your electron is there in this first orbit, it is here in second orbit, third, fourth and fifth. So imagine these are the energy levels. So when your electron is first given the excitation, you are giving the energy. So when you give the energy, what will happen? Imagine your electron in the first orbit. It will absorb the energy. Once it absorbs energy, what will happen? it will excited. So it will jump to higher orbit. It depends on the energy how much you are giving. So by absorbing that energy, it will go to higher orbit. But electrons will not remain stable in other states except their own orbitals. So being unstable, they want to again come back to their original state, or that is nothing but called as ground state. So when they try to come back to their ground state, they emit radiation. That is nothing but called as emission spectra. So what is emission spectra? It is nothing but the spectrum emitted by the electron when it jumps from higher orbit to the lower orbit by absorbing energy. First it is absorbing energy in lower orbit. It is jumping to higher orbit. But it is unstable there. Then again it is coming back. When it is coming back, it is emitting the radiations. That is nothing but called as emission spectrum. So when it is coming from N2 to N1, then that is nothing but called as your Lyman series. Even if it is coming from L3 to N1, this is also called as same. Even it can come from N4 to N1, even it is come from, okay. So, and P font finally, this is your N1. So, from 5th it is coming to 1, 4th it is coming, this is nothing but called as your Lyman series. Clear? Similarly, when you are taking your second orbit, your third orbit electron is coming, returning back. Similarly, fourth orbit also returning back, fifth energy also coming back. It is called as Balmer series. Clear? Now, this is nothing but Lyman series. It is coming under your ultraviolet range. It is coming under your visible region. So, same way he draw this and he shown. This is your energy and this is your energy labels. N equal to 1, N equal to 2, N equal to 3, N equal to 4, N equal to 5. So, for first one, it will come from here, it will come from here, come from here, come from here. This is Lyman series. Clear? Similarly for N2, even it will continue up to N equal to infinity. You can even mention N equal to 6 or 7 like that. So, now for N2 also, it will come from N3, N4, N5, N6, N6, N7 like that. This is nothing but called as your Balmer series. Similarly, here for N3, it will come from N4, N5, N6 from higher orbits. This is nothing but called as your Paschen series. Now, are you clear how the way they have drawn this spectrum line spectrum for hydrogen? You can do it similarly for your remaining two series, that is your bracket and P font series. Clear? Now, what is the speciality of Bohr is nothing but he already told when electron jumps from one state to other, it emits or absorbs the radiation. Hence, there are two types of spectrum, emission spectrum and absorption spectrum. So, we can express always in terms of del E. What is del E is nothing but energy in final to energy in initial. Already Rydberg given the formula of energy. What it is? Minus RH into 1 by n square. Now when you are considering EF, what you will write it as? Minus RH into 1 by Fi 1 by NF whole square minus RH 1 by Ni square. Clear? Minus minus become plus. I'll write it first. RH take common 1 by Ni square minus 1 by Nf square. Clear? This is nothing but the change in energy. He showed directly quantitative analysis because he already told. What is your del E? Nothing but change in energy. When there will be change in energy, either the electron moves from lower to higher orbit or higher to lower bit. That change in energy always it is discrete in nature, or that energy is quantized. Okay, so now he got this. Now once he got this, you know the value of Rydberg's constant, it is nothing but how much it is around. Rydberg's constant 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18, 1 by Ni square minus 1 by Nf square. Clear? This is the change in energy. We know E equal to h nu. Now we want to find out what is the frequency. So frequency is nothing but del E by h. What is h? It is nothing but your Planck's constant. So substitute it here, 2.18 into 10 to the power minus 18 whole into 1 by Ni square minus Ni n square divided by, what is the Planck's constant? 6.636 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule into second. Now you got this is in terms of frequency, so it is unit is hertz. Okay, now if you simplify it, how much you will get? Around 3.29 into 10 to the power, it will go to up, so 18 ja 14 15 36, directly will do minus 13, this is 33, because I am taking it off, it's 34, I am multiplying it with 1 and I am simplifying this 6.636, you just make it as 6.64. Okay, you make it round off, then you divide here. If you want out, then it is 20.18 divided by 6.64, then you will get 3.29 into 10 to the power, that's what 1 year 10 I added with it, multiplied with it. So hence I am simplifying it with this, then it is nothing but 1 by Ni square minus 1 by Nf square, this much. Now if you simplify, how much you will get? 3.29 into 10 to the power 33 minus 18, so 15, 1 by Ni square minus 1 by Nf square. This much he got the frequency. Then he also told you can find the wave number. So what is wave number formula? You know wave number is nothing but it is the frequency divided by the velocity of light. You got this frequency, how much it is? 3.29 into 10 to the power 15 divided by velocity of light 3.8 into 10 to the power, well as 3 into 10 to the power 8, sorry ma, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second velocity of light. Then substitute this value, how much it is? 1 by Ni square minus 1 by Nf square. Now just simplify it, how much you will get? Around same 1.0977 into 10 to the power, this 8 will go to 15 minus 8, so 7 into 1 by Ni square minus 1 by Nf square. This much of your wave number, it is inverse of frequency. So you know, sorry, it is inverse of wavelength. What is the unit of wavelength? Either in meter or centimeter. Here it is in the terms of meter. So hence meter inverse. Clear? Now you have seen he got the same value as like your Rydberg and Balmer, but he made all the quantitative analysis, whereas they both made the empirical analysis. That is the difference between the hydrogen model given by the Balmer, only given one series. Your Rydberg given all the 5 series, but there is no quantitative analysis. He nicely given all these quantitative analysis and show this spectrum diagram, line spectrum of hydrogen, very beautifully how the way it is happening. And one more thing is that when your electron is jumping from higher orbit to lower orbit, what will happen? By absorbing energy only, it is coming from higher to lower, then only there will be emission spectra. Then what is the condition of it? See here, I'll just tell you the last point. Now when the electrons are possibilities that it will go from low to high or it will go come from high to low. True possibility or not? It may go from low to high or high to low. So when it is going from low to high, then there will be it absorbing the energy, it can go from low to high, then it is called as absorption spectra. When it is coming from high to low, from higher orbit to lower orbit, then that is called as emission spectra. And when your absorption spectra will be there, that is absorbing energy, hence this part which is in the bracket, it will becomes positive. So what it indicates? Your final energy is greater than your initial energy. Clear? Now when it is emission spectra, then at that time this bracket value, it will becomes negative. So at that time what it will happen? It will release energy. So when it is releasing energy, obviously its final energy will be reduced. E final will be lesser than E initial. So hence it will be reduced or negative. That's what you will find. That's what very beautiful way Mr. Bohr given the quantitative analysis of hydrogen model, which is already given by Balmer and Mr. Rydberg. Okay student, in my next video I will explain about the quantum model, which is, or you can say, your wave nature and particle nature, which you have studied earlier little bit, and I will explain about the photoelectric effect, how the way it is happening. Actually all of you have studied in your physics, I hope so, your Newton's laws of motion and all. That is nothing but called as classical physics, in which it is nothing but happened in macro level. You are applying the force and all, you are seeing this is the movement and all. But when it is coming from micro particles, very very small particles like your electron, proton, neutron and all subparticles of the atoms, then this classical physics, that is the Newton's laws of motion and all, it is not applicable. So hence they moved from classical mechanics to the quantum mechanics. In quantum mechanics they are dealing with both particle and wave nature of the particle. But coming to macro level, macro means higher level, these micro things like your wave nature of electron is not visible. That's what it's neglected. But that your quantum physics or your quantum mechanics, even it is applicable for the macro level classical physics. We can justify our Newton's laws of motion and all these things with the help of quantum mechanics or quantum physics. But the macro level particles behavior and nature, we are not able to justify with the help of this classical physics. Hence quantum physics is highly popular because it is justifying at the micro as well as in the macro level, whereas your classical physics only justified at the level of macro elements, big elements or big objects. That is the difference. Next video I will upload about it. Okay students, take care. Bye bye.